whole thing about marketing, and you look at every advertisement, every 30-second commercial, is they've narrowed down their message to 30 seconds. The ones that work are the ones where the message is delivered in 30 seconds. If you can't deliver in 30 seconds, guess what? You can't do a 30-second commercial. Therefore, you're not going to have a commercial. Therefore, you're not going to be on TV, etc. So marketing is really all about defining what the hell it is you are in a way that's explainable and simple and direct and short, and then you push that. Sometimes an image, they say an image is worth 1,000 words. Make sure that image that you're putting, sells what it is you're doing. For instance, if you saw a picture of a guy with a acoustic guitar, blue jeans, cowboy boots, and a cowboy hat, immediately you think country music. Okay, if it happens to be a punk rock group, and that's what they're wearing, their market won't even notice the photograph because they'll assume it's country and they'll turn the page. Okay, so that image would not fit. Now, if it was a country guy doing all of that, but he had a big tattoo on his head and he had an earring through his nose and a chain hanging down, and you go, oh, wow, what's that? It kind of jolts your impression to think, well, it's obviously not cowboy because he's got a chain hanging from his nose and he's got a tattoo and he's got, what the hell is that? So it intrigues you to look at it. So sometimes juxtaposing opposites works. But basically, the human mind does shortcuts. We see a guy in a cowboy hat, oh, country, I'm not interested in country. I see a guy in a punk clothes, oh, that's punk rock, I don't like punk rock, I see a violinist up there in a suit, oh, that's classical, I don't like that. We don't have time to sit there and figure out what everything is. So marketing is all about narrowing it down to the shortest possible message, the cleanest possible image. Don't, make it a mystery, and that's what you do. So I would say if some act came to me, the first thing I'm going to look at him and go, well, you know what? What are you? What makes you stand out? What are we going to sell? I had this group once called Shock Paris, okay? And it was not really the kind of thing I.R.S. Records signed, but our head of radio said, look, this group's great, and they're kind of heavy metal and all that, and, we should branch out a little bit, and I thought, well, what the hell, So these guys come into the office, and they're all wearing spandex trousers, and they're all doing, with the long blonde hair and the whole thing. And I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking, this group looks like it looks like somebody has said, okay, we need a rock group that, the typical progressive rock band. These guys walk in, that's it. Okay, it's what you always imagine. Okay, and I said, well, what sort of makes you guys sort of different than anything else? You look just like everybody else. Okay, no, we're all unique. And I said, okay, hold on a second. I said, give me your promo picture. And I had some other promos. So I stuck their promo picture up with 5 other acts on the wall. And I had them stand back 20 feet. And I said, okay, pick yourself out. Which photo is yours? You're looking, They couldn't pick their photo out from all these other acts. They all looked alike, And I said to them, so why are you called Shock Paris? And they went, well, just sound like a cool name, And I said, but if you're doing an interview and somebody says, well, what's the name of Shock Paris? And you go, well, it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of like a name, we picked it out of a hat. I said, how interesting is that? You mean your name came out of a hat? I mean, that's boring. So I said, I was just, I'm thinking of these guys. These guys are just nowhere, I said, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make a big deal about how you hate the French. Okay? We're going to do things like we're going to burn in effigy little Eiffel Towers on stage. We're going to take French wine every night and we're going to throw it on the ground and say, screw the French! What do the French know? So it's Shock Paris, shock the French. Nobody's going to take it that seriously in a sense because, what are you going to hate about the French? Their wine, their fashion, Paris is a beautiful city. It's like it's not like racial or something, it's like, to hate the French, that's okay. Who cares, But it would be something people would comment about and say, well, this guy had some attitude about the French, and I don't know, whatever it is, people are going to want to know about it. It's interesting. And they looked at me and I had 2 heads like, well, yeah, but we don't hate the French. I said, that's not the point. The point is to make your name, well, then change your name. Come up with something that relates to something that you can sit here and tell me a story about it, So, when people ask Stewart, my brother, why did you call the group the Police? And he said, well, because the Police has number one, I've got cars all around the world promoting my act.